Well, good Tuesday morning to you. You are watching the On the Go post show on Facebook and YouTube with the Go Morning Show team at 3 News WKYC Studios. I'm Danielle Wiggins with Austin Love, Maureen Kyle, Holly Strano, Jasmine Monroe, and Dave Chudowski. And today we want to hear your thoughts on the new orders that went into effect in both Ohio and also specifically in Akron, a little really strict in Akron. And for the Ohio health order that went into effect at midnight, this order maintains that guests at events must be seated at all times, no socializing in open areas, and masks must be worn except when eating and drinking, plus no more than 10 people at a table, and they must be from the same household. So it looks like they are targeting like weddings, funerals, and things like that, those repast services after funerals. So again, we want to hear from you. You can put your perspective in the comments section, and we want to incorporate you. Now, Jasmine Monroe, hold on just a second. I feel like I hear Holly here. There we go. So Jasmine, yeah, like Holly, you're not talking, but you're talking on my computer. Jasmine has been covering this morning, and specifically about Akron, they really go a step further. What's going on there, Jasmine?
So pretty much in Akron, they just, went along the lines of what Governor Mike DeWine has been saying, but they just took it just a step further. And that is specifically a 30-day order in place for the city of Akron. If you are in that area and you're holding a wedding, they're saying pretty much you can't. You now have 10 people is what Cleveland had, or what the city of Ohio or the state of Ohio had. Theirs is 6 people. And if you have guests coming over to your house, you do have to have them and make them wear masks. And if anything were to go outside of the ordinary, the police will be there to make sure that people are listening to these rules. And you can be fined up to $250. So that is the new rule happening in Akron. It's, to me, I was speaking to some of my lawyer friends, and they're just saying, this goes against the grain. They're going, you're talking about what's happening inside of people's homes. You're crossing the line. I spoke to business owners who were just saying, like, we've done everything that we could possibly do to make sure that we were staying safe. We paid for things like the plexiglass. We paid for hand sanitizing stations. We even dialed back on how many people can eat at a restaurant. To still have to shut down, it just doesn't seem fair. So that's happening in and around the entire Ohio area, but specifically for Akron, if you're trying to hold a wedding or a birthday party or anything, or just your family over, if there are people who have more than 6 people inside of their houses. So it's to me, it's insane, but it's our new norm.
And I'm looking at everyone's comments that are coming in Facebook. So please know that I am paying attention to Jasmine and everyone else who is speaking, but I do want to get you guys in the conversation as well. Just like Dakaya, I think I'm pronouncing your name correctly. She actually says that this is silly, so shut it down. He keep doing it halfway, and I'm assuming she's talking about the governor, and people don't listen to this mess. And it's getting worse. So she's SMDH, you know what that stands for. We need to do better. What are you guys hearing in your social networks, Austin, Mo, and Dave, about these new orders going into effect basically right now in Akron and Ohio?
Well, I haven't gotten out and about. I'm in my house.
Everything's okay though. Everything's okay.
Fine. Everything's fine. But I do want to say that my husband had to travel to his Columbus office this morning. So luckily we all know how to work from home at this point. So I'm just on serial duty if I'm looking away here. This is something like, obviously I haven't talked to my friends this morning about all of this yet, but I mean, even over the weekend, everybody I know, just if they had plans, they shut it down. Everybody's kind of concerned heading into the Thanksgiving holiday and into the other holidays at the end of December. I mean, it's just, I think everybody's trying to do their part, and they get so frustrated, as we mentioned on this post show yesterday. Dave even brought it up that, you get so frustrated when you see other places and businesses that aren't complying, and when other people are gathering at bars and not adhering to the, the kind of, it's the unspoken rule that, hey, let's all do our part. So, these restrictions, as Jasmine mentioned, they're unprecedented because it's inside your home. Can you imagine the police coming in if you're sitting around? Like, we're a family of 5. So if my parents came over and now we have 7 and the police come in and say, you got to break this up. I mean, it's not a house party, but maybe is that what it takes for people to pay attention?
Who are you sending out the house?
Mom, Dad, I don't know which one of you I'm going to choose, but only one of you can stay.
See ya, Millie. Oh. Good luck.
Yeah, maybe we're going to kick out Etta.
Millie is the middle child that Maureen has, the 3 of her 3 beautiful girls. Let me bring in what you say?
Oh no, I was just telling Millie that they're everybody's picking on her.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I mean, there's a number of people speaking up on this the comments are coming in. Donna says that she works with about 150 residents plus employees. We are COVID free, so a great job with that. Peachy Torres says, so we are going to be basically breaking the law by being with our families. Wow. So again, this goes to Thanksgiving coming up, and it's in Akron. Hey there, Etta. Sorry, I got distracted by the cuteness there. Etta, that's the baby, and there's the oldest, Scarlett, chiming in.
Scarlett, what did you say, Scarlett? What did you say?
We're just gonna watch a cartoon called Fairy Thanksgiving.
Oh, and we're all hoping to have a fairy Thanksgiving as well.
It's so nice to have more kids than just Austin on. It really adds to the morning.
Austin was pretty also watching a fairy Thanksgiving this morning.
Yeah, absolutely. You better believe it. Yeah.
So I do want to get this back on track because people are really commenting in our section on this, and let me know what you all are hearing or thinking about how our viewers are responding. Virginia says we need to stand up to this. Seriously, Ohio, it's absolutely ridiculous. And then Dakia again says she's from Akron and she can tell you no one listens to these rules and we will never get this under control. What is everyone's feedback from this? I know, Jasmine, you said, wow, you just can't believe it. This is unprecedented.
Well, listen, I'll jump in, and I haven't talked to anyone in Akron, but I will just say that this goes along with, and while I respect what Maureen said about she thinks everyone's trying to do what they can, I'm not necessarily sure that's the case. I mean, I think this is an example of, again, how kind of we're divided. I think there's a lot of people out there. Listen, until coronavirus hits you in the face, until you experience something tragic with this, or you see it, like even today we reported, there's 1 million kids, I can't remember the exact number, that have gotten coronavirus. Well, I don't know of any. And, we've always heard that kids are fine. And then we have that number. And, then now you have this move by Akron and they're going to come to your house. And I don't know. I mean, it just seems like that's going to another level. And again, as I mentioned yesterday, and I don't want to pinpoint one exact thing, but, you watch NFL games and you see certain cities, fans in the stands, and you see things that contradict other things. And I don't want a shutdown, trust me. And I don't believe a shutdown's the answer. I would feel for those businesses, but it's very difficult when you're seeing two different things. Again, what I said yesterday.
I'm going to piggyback off of Dave and just say that I have had something, and not in my own family, but a friend of my son's father did get coronavirus, and he thankfully recovered, and this was months ago. Mm-hmm. But he was hospitalized. He was on a ventilator. Wow. My son's friend was, so scared. And then after he recovered and had been home for a couple of months, he developed a blood clot as a complication. We're hearing reports of that. So I guess my point, and he's still fine. So that should have been how I started the story. But my point to, I think, anyone, and again, what Dave said, is until you know somebody, and that wasn't even a family member or necessarily somebody that I'm super, super close with, but when you hear that and you see people that are not wearing masks, that are not listening, that are doing things that clearly are going against everything that we're being told, it's pretty tough. It's hard.
Not
Yeah.
everyone watches the news every day. And the other thing too is, I think, and Maureen mentioned this the other day, we know more people that have coronavirus now. There was a time where you didn't even hear of anyone having it. It seemed that way. I feel like now we definitely know people who have it, but you know, they've recovered. So that goes to Holly's point, until you really are hit hard by it.
I
That's just
actually,
my opinion.
my boyfriend's uncle passed away because of COVID. So
Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, no, it was early on, but it's definitely, that's why something, I take this serious. Like, it's not a joke. It's not something. And even when I hear, like, you can laugh at some of the coronavirus jokes, but in the end, it's just like, when I go to certain areas, which I was in certain areas, and I saw certain people, certain areas in Cleveland and Ohio, where they just don't think they don't have to wear masks. Like, they think that it doesn't hit this area or this neighborhood. And it just truly blows my mind to see. To me, I feel like it's ignorance because it hit so close to home for me. I just believe it's ignorance, because even if it's not real, if they're saying COVID is not real and it's fake news and all that, blah, 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 for one thing that you have to do to wear a mask for us to get out of it, we can't even do that. So it's just.
It is 7:18, and this is a hot topic that we can talk about for 20 more minutes, but we do need to let Dave, Maureen, and Holly go for the Today Show cut-ins that they have. But I do want to let you guys know these orders, especially the Ohio one, it does not apply to religious observances and First Amendment protected speech and to governmental meetings. So it doesn't apply there. And there we have a Gigi Fee, or she says the restrictions are stressful and depressing. The threat of death and isolation on a daily basis is unwarranted. Just tell us to hide until 2022. And then lastly, remember the state reported 7,268 new cases on Monday, and that puts our 21-day average more than 5,000 for the first time since the pandemic began. So we will continue to have this conversation and continue to engage with you all. Thank you, Austin, Mo, Dave, Holly, and Jasmine, for talking with us. And again, thank you for joining us as well. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 4:30 a.m. and we'll be back at 7:05. Check out Dave, Maureen, and Holly during the Today Show. Have a great Tuesday, everyone.